Hey guys, welcome to week 12. This week is, I'm going to say, kind of a lot. It's not that it's a lot. It's that the two assignments that you have sometimes trip us up a little bit. And I want to go over them. So you have two assignments this week, market analysis and industry analysis. First, market analysis. They're two separate things, so we'll talk about them separately. Market analysis. How many of your target market exist? So in the target market assignment, you stated who your target market was. Some of us said that we had a primary target market and a secondary target market, or we had more than one. And you can have two or three, that's fine. Not every business does, but some do. And so if you had more than one, you're going to have to do this assignment for each target market that you have. So we will go back and look at what you said for target market, and does this align with what you said for target market? So big picture, how many of your target market exist? If your business idea is very location based, that is easier to find because population statistics are easy for us to get our hands on. You can go to the census, you can go to, there's a website called ZipWho, ZIPWHO.com, and you can type in the zip code that you're operating in or multiple zip codes, and it will actually pull up data from the most recent census. And it's actually pretty eye-opening. So big picture, we need to know how many of the target market exists. And I gave an example inside of this assignment, and I said if you open a daycare in a certain zip code, yet when you're doing your research, you're finding that only 10% of households have children, we need to stop and talk about that, because there may not be enough children for you to survive in that area. So keep that in mind. So how many, market analysis, we are now analyzing the market. How many of your target market exist? That's what your answer is. Now, when you turn this in, it's not a simple 1,000 people. It's not that. It's about a paragraph. In there, I said several. You can explain this in one good paragraph, maybe two, but remind us who your target market is and how many of them exist. Okay, that's what you're doing for market analysis. Number two, industry analysis, separate assignment, okay? How many of your competition exist? How many daycares in the area exist if you are doing a daycare business? Now, some of you will say you're a t-shirt boutique and your biggest competitor is Walmart because they also sell t-shirts. No, it's not. If you are a specialty t-shirt boutique and you print them yourself using a Cricut or whatever, and you iron them on and all that and sell them, Walmart is not your competitor. Your competitor are other small t-shirt boutiques that do the exact same thing that you're doing. So you would have to be able to research how many small businesses like yours are in the area. Now, if you are only online, and let's say you have a TikTok shop and you go do TikTok lives making the thing that it is that you're selling, and that's what you do, then you need to find out via that platform how many other shops like yours exist, because they are still competition. There is a gentleman that I've started following on TikTok. Okay, he makes handmade leather belts, and the videos that he creates are him cutting the leather, putting the holes in them, putting the metal part on it, the whole thing, okay? Very few handmade leather belt makers exist like that. Most belts that are made in huge manufacturing facilities. They'll make 1,000 at a time or more, and then they ship them out to the various places they get shipped. So although he is not one of a kind, he's one of very few. So if yours is something like that, you say that you're one of very few and you've only been able to find this many other handmade leather belt makers in your research. You do have to do research on this. Again, Walmart is not your competition just because they sell t-shirts, to keep that example going. Walmart and Target are each other's competitions, and me having the option to buy a t-shirt at Walmart in a very long, drawn out, down at the bottom of the list of competitors might end up on there. But if I'm out looking for a graphic t-shirt that is locally made, who are your competitors? If you do roofing, who are the other roofing competitors locally? So keep that in mind. How many like yours exist? Especially if you are in a specific area. Location can be important here. If you are only online and the area doesn't matter, and okay, then how many others just like yours exist? Okay, so you're researching how many of you, it's called an industry analysis because we want to know how big the industry is. But the industry geographically is kind of important in some of our businesses too. So how many of your competitors exist? Get Google out and start asking Google all the questions. Because you are going to need to formulate 1 or 2 paragraphs here and explain how many that are similar to yours, they don't have to be identical, exist. There will be some industry information out there. Roofing manufacturers or lawn care companies in Arkansas, or you get the idea though. So spend some time this week doing lots of research. You're ultimately only writing maybe 2-3 total paragraphs between the 2 assignments. If you've got 1 really good paragraph in each assignment, I'm gonna count that, as long as you're fully explaining the question that's being asked of you. But it's going to take more research for you to be able to formulate that paragraph in a way it needs to be done, because you need to answer how many's in your target market for market analysis, and how many's in your how big is the industry / how many competitors are there in your industry. So like big picture, how many of other businesses like yours exist. I don't know that I've ever had a student actually start a business that didn't exist. So if you're leaning towards nobody does this like me, holler at me first. Let's talk it out. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I've had lots of students over the years say that, and in some capacity, there was an industry. It just may have been super small. So reach out if you have questions. Just these 2 assignments this time. Holler at me if you need me, and I will talk to you soon.